Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Alyssa.
This week we're gonna be pushing that money button. So I don't know about y'all, but money is something that to this day, I honestly still do not understand. Like I'm terrible budgeting wise. Like with my own money, I can handle.
What's the B word?
Right? Like I can handle other people's money, but my own, like it terrifies me. And it's like I have no common sense and I just spend and I figure it out. And it's just something that I realize I was never taught. And so I did a little research and did some digging as to why that is. But before we jump into that, Mama, like what is your relationship to money?
I mean, I really like to shop.
That's my relationship to money. I like things. Sorry.
I like save money secretly.
Okay.
And I think that's the only, like, one of the only things that, like, keeps me floating currently is that I have, like, accounts that I forget that are there that are, like,
Super
pulling
smart.
money in. But it's, like, those, like, little things that, like, don't necessarily, like, add up to what would be necessarily like the most responsible.
But you pay yourself first. When you get paid,
I definitely pay myself first.
I gotta put this and hide it somewhere.
In
terms of saving.
That's what I thought you meant, like buying what I wanted, because I definitely do that. But yes, sure. I do have little bits of money that go into savings account for my cats, like whatever.
For my cats. Sorry.
Also for like trips and groceries and my tattoo and stuff. But like. Yes, I do buy things, or I mean, yes, I do make money so that my cats can have a great life and they can have everything that I would have dreamt about if I was a cat.
So you would say you have a semi-healthy relationship to money. Like you have a kind of...
We're functioning.
Okay.
We're functioning.
We have a firm understanding.
Need to cut back on the shopping and the Uber Eatsing and the late night random purchases from the stupid BuzzFeed
Impulse
articles. Yes.
You read those BuzzFeed articles?
Oh, they are made for me.
I see them and I purposely I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna click on this because I'm gonna buy something.
I'm always like, there's gonna be something that I haven't seen yet, because it's like now it's like the same fucking 45 things in an article and a half that I'm like, yeah, I've seen that. Maybe I bought it, but like I'm looking for the new. It's the like FOMO of what am I not seeing?
But how do you feel about talking about money? Like I personally, like I have no qualms, no problem. Yes, let's talk about these numbers directly. Let me know. What are you making? What is like other people like in conversation? And that's something that I'm interested in exploring more, because America generally, like we don't directly talk about numbers. We don't talk about money.
No, I came from a not talking about money really family. Like you should put 10% in your savings account. You should give 10% to the church, put 10% for yourself, and then put the rest of it away, basically.
Right.
Like when I was little, I like didn't get an allowance. I didn't get paid for chores. I didn't have the family that gave you money when you turned new ages or like all of those things. But like somehow as a kid, I like would randomly get a hold of money sometimes. And then I would buy like what I wanted. Like I remember, like I have a very vivid memory of being like small, and like I went to Walmart with my family and picked out the potty training Kelly doll, Barbie's sister or cousin, someone correct me in the comments. She was toilet training because I apparently was toilet training at that time.
I want this.
But like she had the little roll of toilet paper. It was, I want to say it was like, I don't know, $3, $4, $5, because that's like the MSRP of like those little like last minute add-on toys. And I remember, like, being at the checkout, couldn't fucking see over it, barely. Like, on my tiptoes, like, counting my, like, here's 25 cents in pennies. Like, here's...
God, so fresh.
And I think finally my dad was like, here's a $5 bill. Like, let's go. But, like, that was, like, I was like, yes, okay, I get it. Like, I have to get money to get the things that I want. Barbie training, like, you know, those kinds of things. And I, like, racked that up a little bit as a kid, but somewhere between, like, having a job in high school, having no fucking bills, still, I don't know where that money went because it was dumb, and like to like mid-adulthood, like lost like
the concept of...
I mean, yeah, like I have stocks, I have a 401k, like things, but I'm like, I don't, like, it's like me, like monkey see, monkey doing.
Yes.
And you can ask me about numbers and I can talk about numbers, but like I don't feel that I like fully understand.
I see.
And that's like kind of a lack on myself, not like looking into it further. Like in my middle school or high school, one of the two, we like for a semester played like a stock game.
What?
Where we were like trading and it was like, you had to think about it. And I was at that age that I was like, I would rather put lipstick on in the bathroom and like go like make out with my boyfriend or something. Like, you know, whatever, like that was who I was.
Yes.
So I was like, here, nerd, do my homework. I'm going to bye.
See, I think that's so interesting that your high school had that. We had nothing of the sorts, but apparently 22 states required some type of personal finance course in their 20 to 21 curriculum. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's a step forward. That's exciting because I'm realizing
it should be required already.
Thank you.
I'm
like,
all of them.
You get out into the world, and I'm not gonna lie to you. My like in terms of understanding credit, paying taxes, budgeting, it went like.
I mean,
this.
Yes.
I was like, what?
I feel like for a good like chunk of time, my checking account had my bank teller was probably like, how are you alive,
ma'am?
The like paycheck to paycheck somehow like life that I'm like. I don't know either.
I'm figuring it out as I go. And I hit a point where I'm like, I can't do that anymore. And I realized I don't understand money. And I don't know why. I need to figure out what to do about it. And so as I went down this rabbit hole of money, I'm like, oh, a lot of people don't clearly understand money and saving and like the different things that are essential to help build that kind of wealth. I was about to say success because also
success equals wealth to so many of us. Like if you don't make this amount of money in your fields, like
it's tied to your worth. And I think that's also probably why people don't talk about money, because it puts your personal like worth out there. And on top of that, I think it's interesting, as Americans, we actually talk about money more than we think we do, but indirectly, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, what area do you live in? What's your zip code? Like, what are your hobbies? Do
what
you
do
like
you
to
drive?
Travel? You like what do you buy? What do you like? What grocery? Even to what grocery store you shop at?
If I hear someone shops at like Whole Foods, Erewhon for sure,
Yep,
I'm like, you know what? Good for
money.
you.
Right?
Good for you.
It's the little things. Like we talk about money in the details. Like it's the subtext of what
Who
money.
did your hair? What are you wearing?
What are your hobbies? Like,
Yeah.
do you work out at home? Do you work out at a yoga studio? Like that.
Do you have a personal trainer? Do you go to Equinox?
You can find out real quick, like where someone is in terms of their finances based on what they do. However, you can also fake it till you make it, and some people just like it's all about appearances.
Yeah.
So it looks like you have money, but you were like putting yourself further and further into debt. Like the way in which, most Americans are like, they can't cover a $400 emergency, but is quick to get the new iPhone or like have Starbucks every day. No shade. I fall in that motherfucking boat. Like I'm very well aware of my terrible spending habits. And I'm like, oh, it starts young. It starts like with what you're taught by your family, what you learn in school.
I feel like this is of my own doing to myself, but the like whole like women don't understand money. Like I almost at times have definitely projected that onto myself. Like
same.
I don't care. Like whatever.
I'll figure it out.
Like and yes, it is very young and it does get very tired sometimes to like go back and like I literally could have done X, Y, and Z had I not done this, or like. Just being able to understand like a passive income.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to buy a house anytime soon. So, real estate is out the door. But like also on the flip side, like I have friends who are my age and younger who are purchasing homes.
Yes.
Multiple. They live in different parts of the world or different, whatever cost of living areas. But it's still like my brother just bought a fucking house. My baby brother, who's not a baby, he's a like 2 years.
Adult,
He's an
but-
adult. He's a family.
But he's younger.
But he's like my baby brother, and
Yep,
he
same,
just bought a
same.
house. And I'm like, I think my rent is more than your mortgage.
Yo,
Like,
I don't even want to
I
get
don't
started
know.
on that. Living in Los Angeles is criminal in terms of rent is concerned and housing and all of that. That will be another
It's
button.
a whole different button.
But it just, there are, like, some people also just get it. They understand or want to understand. I am now of that mindset. I was like, oh, the things that I want and the way that I spend, I need to get it together. Because, like, great for those who have an understanding, are investing. I'm like, actually, I need to be around y'all more. I need to talk to you.
And
Like,
drop your investor tips below, passive income tips if you cannot afford to buy a house in another state.
let us know. We're trying to learn over here. Most definitely.
Money 101 is what we're currently taking.
Yes, and so we're going to learn and grow with you guys. This is probably just part one of our money.
Very long series of us learning how to make more money.
Because if you can't tell, we don't understand. We confused. So also, if you are confused and, you know, like, give us your money experience in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch you next week. Bye.